Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today's practice is about getting unstuck. So when we're stressed or there's a lot going on, we tend to round the shoulders and that tension gets stuck in the body, in the hips, the shoulders, the chest, the abdomen. So today we're going to open that up and get those places unstuck. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today in standing. So step to the front of the mat. Let the feet go a little wider than hip distance apart. And roll the shoulders back. So just like lift the arms and roll the shoulders back and open it up. And let the arms go behind you. Interlace the fingers. And then start to straighten the arms. They don't have to straighten. And as you do so, let your chest go up toward the sky. So just start to open that up, gentle back bend. Your palms can be together or apart. That changes where the stretch goes. Just kind of feel that and figure out what you need for your shoulders and your chest. Just stand tall, kind of tuck the tailbone a little bit so you can lift the chest, no crunching in the back. And stretch into the shoulders. If that doesn't feel like much, you may even want to start to rotate and flip the palms so they're facing away from you. And that just rotates the arms all the way out and reverses that hunching of the shoulders I was talking about. And just breathe. Close the eyes if you don't lose your balance. Keeping the tailbone slightly tucked, chest going up toward the sky. Breathe and open. Now from here, you can leave the arms where they are, bend into the knees and start to bend at the hips. So tilting the pelvis forward. You can bend deeply into the knees and let the arms go up and overhead. So now we're just going to dangle here, letting the shoulders open even more. Find that palm position that feels good for you. One's not better than the other. It just depends on your anatomy and what you need. Deep breaths. Now when you're ready, release the arms. Bring them down to the floor, the feet, or the shins. Even rest the elbows on the knees. You can grab opposite elbows. Just going to hang out here for a few more breaths, tilting the sit bones up toward the sky. Breathing into the upper back. Maybe let it out through an open mouth. Make a sound. And bend real deep into the knees. Place the hands on the hips and come all the way up to stand. Slow, slow, slow. And we're back where we started. This time, lift the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, and then place them behind the head and the neck. Maybe your thumbs go down the neck to support it. And from here, we're just going to add another gentle back bend using our hands as a hammock so we don't strain the neck. So again, you can bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, and then re-straighten the legs, and then send your chest up toward the sky. And that just elongates the lower back so that we're aiming the curve into the upper spine. You can lean the head back into the hands if that feels good. Just breathe and open. If you ever feel any crunching into the back, come up out of it. Maybe bend the knees some more, come forward. And then release that and just kind of swing the arms and the knees. Loosen that back up. So one more time, interlace the fingers behind your back, bend the knees, and fold forward. Just kind of releasing that back bend. Open the shoulders one more time. It might feel a lot more open this time. Maybe rotating the palms away from you, maybe not. And then release. Let the hands come down to the floor. Bend the knees deeply, lift the chest. Crown of the head goes forward. And then step back into a lunge with the left foot. And lower the knee down. Bring your shoulder to the inside of the right knee so you can heel toe that foot over to the right. Just bring the palms to the ground. If this doesn't work, feel free to use a block or a cushion to place your hands on that. We're really just looking to stretch and open the hip. So wherever you need to be to make that happen. If it feels better to flex the foot and wing the knee out to the side, feel free to do that. So find your lizard pose. If you want a little more fire, you can curl the back toes under and lift the back knee. If you want to get more into that left hip flexor. Wherever you are, let the hips sink down. And breathe into that. And by that I mean with every inhale, let it inflate your right hip. Just feel the breath go there. And then as you exhale, let it deflate and sink down. A few more breaths, just breathe and open. Now on your next inhale, lift that back knee by curling the back toes under, and then we're just going to step back to where we were at the front of the mat, but this time let the feet go a little wider than they were before, about the width of the mat. Maybe the toes are turned out a little bit, and then come on down into a squat. Maybe rock back and forth to protect the knees. Press the elbows into the knees to press them away. And your hands can float out in space in front of you. Maybe they come into prayer in front of the heart. Now from here, we'll open up the hips a little bit more. So let the left fingertips go out toward the left. You're pressing the left knee away with your upper left arm. Place your right hand on your right knee and twist toward the right. If that doesn't feel good, feel free to hang out in the center without twisting. Maybe your right arm reaches up toward the sky. And then come back to center. We'll take the other side. So right fingertips out toward the right. Press the left hand into the left knee and twist. Maybe that arm floats up. And then back to center. And then we'll take that lizard pose on the other side. So lift the hips, pressing the fingertips into the ground, and step your right foot back into a lunge. Lowering the knee down. Heel toe the left foot out toward the left if it's a little too close. And let the hips get heavy. Again, feel free to flex the left foot and wing the knee out to the side. Flexing the foot protects the knee, so keep it flexed. Or you can keep that knee straight up toward the sky. Maybe lifting the back knee. Maybe not. You decide. You can even add a little movement if you want to rock back and forth. Help those hips open up. Deep breaths. Two more big breaths. So inhale through the nose. Let it out through an open mouth. Deflate that left hip. And then from here, we're going to lift the back knee and step back to the front of the mat. Inhale, let the crown of the head go forward. Feet are about hip distance apart. And then as you exhale, let all the air out, fold forward. Bending the knees as much as you need to. Then bend them a little more, and inhaling, come on up to stand. Reach the arms out to the side and up overhead. And then exhale, bring them back to center in front of the heart. Close the eyes just for a moment. And just to get a little warmer, we'll do 2 sun salutation A. Inhaling, reach the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, moving in slow motion. Hands can be on the shins. Exhaling, plant the hands, step back into a plank, knees on or off the ground, lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, curl the toes under, pull the hips up and away, downward dog. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Knees can be bent. Your first downward dog. So as you inhale, press your hands into the ground, especially the thumb and the forefinger. And exhale, let the hips go up and away from that. Heels can be off the ground. And then on your next inhale, step to the front of the mat. Let the crown of the head go forward, long spine. Exhale it all out as you fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up overhead as you stand. And exhale back to center. One more time like that. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhaling, bow forward. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhaling, step back into a plank. Knees on or off the ground, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, pull the hips back down, dog. 3 big breaths here. That's 1. 2, 1 more. And then as you inhale, step back to the front of the mat, long spine. Exhale and bow. Inhaling, come on back up to stand, reach arms overhead. And exhaling, back to center, close the eyes. And just feel that warmth and energy move through your body. Slowly open the eyes. Inhaling, sweep the arms overhead, and this time bow forward. As you exhale, inhale, long spine. And we'll just step right back into downward dog. And get strong, practice a little balance, and also open up a little more. Here we're going to do a plank variation. So come on forward into a plank and lower your left knee to the ground. So your right leg is extended. And then we're going to open up toward the right. So you may want to scoot your left foot just out toward the left a little to help with balance. And then open up. So you're turning so that your heart and your hips are now facing the right. Reach the right arm overhead and your right foot is on the ground. Make a dome with your left hand, so you're pressing all the fingertips into the ground. And get long through all of your end points. And you can leave your right foot on the ground. This is just fine. Balance is kind of an issue. You might want to bring it forward a bit. If you're feeling good, you may want to lift that leg up off the ground. And then reach your right arm overhead. Big breath in. You can hang out here. If you want to come with me, do a few crunches. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhaling to get long, reach it out. And exhale to crunch. Inhaling and exhaling. This time stay there. You reach that right arm back up toward the sky. You're lifting up out of that bottom shoulder. And then place that hand back on the ground and come back to a downward dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And we'll take that to the other side. So this time coming forward into a plank and drop your right knee down. Maybe scoot that right foot out toward the right a little. Open up toward the left. Left arm goes up toward the sky. Scooting that foot forward if that helps. And you may have noticed that this is very similar to half moon. We do half moon like this, but we're on the foot, not the knee. So this is a great way to practice that balance. Lift the foot if that feels good. If not, that's okay too. If the foot is up, maybe the left arm goes overhead, reaching it long, inhaling. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, long, long, long. Exhale, bring it in. Reach it long one more time. Left arm goes straight up toward the sky. Lift up out of that bottom shoulder. Press all 5 fingertips. And then release it. Both hands to the ground. Step back. Downward dog. Deep breath in. And let it all out through an open mouth. Let something go. And then lower the knees to the floor. And sit back on the heels. Let the palms face up just for a few breaths. Close the eyes. And then from here, we'll take a few neck stretches. You can stay where you are. I'm just going to scoot so you can see what I'm doing. We'll take a few neck stretches. So from here, you can just let the right ear fall toward the right shoulder. Drop the left shoulder down. No forcing, just let it go as far as it wants to. Maybe turning the head down or up. Just finding where you need the stretch. And when you find a good spot, hang out there. Deep breaths, don't pull or force. And let the head roll forward for a breath, and then back up. And we'll take the other side. Turning the chin down and up, just experimenting. Get into those scaling muscles on the side of the neck. Find, where do I need it? And let the head roll down. And then back up. And we're going to scoot the hips off toward the left. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, you may want to bring that left foot out in front of you. Maybe both. All right, we're going to do a side stretch. So if it feels okay, keep those heels tucked in next to you. And we're going to lean over toward the right. So you can place your right hand down and lift the left arm up. And just press your armpit away from your feet, away from your right hand. If that doesn't feel good on your knees and you've got your legs out in front of you, you may want to bring your right foot to the inside of your left knee and press it that way. Or maybe both feet are out in front. Either way, you're just trying to find a stretch in the side waist. Two more big breaths. And then release that. And wherever you are, we're going to come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, or seated spinal twist. So we're going to bring our right foot up and over the left knee. So your left foot is kind of tucked by your right hip. Inhaling to get tall, and then wrap your left arm around that right knee. Real tall, crown of the head reaching away from the hips. And you may be feeling the stretch already in your outer hip. And that's what we're going for. Plant your fingertips behind, and as you get tall, inhale, and then as you exhale, twist a little more toward the right. You're pulling your knee and your hip away from each other, and that's really what you're looking for. I used to always tweak my shoulders in this pose. I was trying to twist so far, and that's not what it's about, so don't hurt the shoulders. Just get that hip stretch and that rotation in the spine. Healthy spine. Last breath here. And then release, and we'll come into double pigeon. So what we're going for is kind of a bit of a triangle by placing our right ankle on the left knee and the right knee on the left ankle. Flex the feet. Again, if this doesn't work for the knees, maybe straighten that bottom leg and just keep the left one up top, maybe supporting it. We're not trying to tweak the knees at all. We just want to stretch the hips. So place the fingertips behind and start to tilt forward, chest going toward the front of your mat. If that doesn't feel like much, you can come forward, but you're kind of just pressing the hips back and the chest forward. And mind for a nice stretch, no pain, no pinching. If it still doesn't feel like much, you want to add a little twist, you can place your right elbow into the arch of your right foot, hands in prayer, and twist toward the left. Deep breaths into right hip. So much tension gets stuck in the hips. And wherever you are, start to come up slowly. And we'll simply switch sides. So just whichever leg is on top, switch. Feel free to have that leg, bottom leg straight out in front of you. And you'll do the same thing. You're just placing the fingertips behind, feet are flexed, chest forward. Just looking for a nice stretch in the outer left hip. So find the variation that works for you. I always call them variations. I don't like the term level, because even yogis who've been doing it for many, many years aren't doing an advanced version of a pose because it doesn't work for their bodies. So I don't know that there is a true level. If you want to add the twist, place your left elbow into the arch of your left foot, hands in prayer, twist toward the right. Lifting up and out of that shoulder, so press down to lift up. you are, come back up to sit, and we're just reversing what we did before. So now we're going to tuck the right foot by the left hip, left foot up and over, knee going straight up toward the sky, wrap the right arm around, left fingertips behind, and inhale to get super tall. And as you exhale, twist toward the left, getting that stretch in the outer left hip. Inhaling to get tall, exhaling to twist. Every breath. And then we'll release and let that knee and foot come over toward the left, so you're back in that kind of off-center seated position. Take the variation that works for you. If this doesn't work, left hand down, right arm up overhead, armpit pressing away from left hand. Find your side stretch, turning the heart up toward the sky. Then release that, cross the legs, and bring the hands forward, step back, and lift the hips into a downward dog. Now this time in downward dog, we're going to attain an Anahatasana, or heart chakra pose. So step the feet back a little so that your heels are up, and then we're going to press the chest through the shoulders. We're making kind of a ski jump out of the torso. Pressing the fingertips into the ground, hips up toward the sky, stretch the front body. If that's too much, lower the knees, and you can do the same thing. Find puppy pose. Open those shoulders. Now if you lower down, lift back up and come back to a regular downward dog. Let the knees come through so you can come into a seated position. Let the bottoms of the feet come together, knees out to the side. Just gotta rock back and forth so you can scoot the hips out behind you and tilt the pelvis forward. Pressing the fingertips into the ground, chest goes forward, Baddha Konasana. Breathe into the hips. Hands can come forward if you're feeling open. Otherwise, keep the fingertips behind. Lower back is long, chest goes forward. And just let gravity do its thing. So close your eyes. And you'll find each breath brings you deeper into the pose. One more big breath here. And then if you came forward, walk the hands back up. Let the legs go straight out in front of you. Plant the heels and bend into the knees. Scoot the hips back. We'll take Paschimottanasana. So same thing, fingertips behind, chest forward. Keeping the knees as bent as they need to be. We're not looking to round into the spine. We want to stretch the backs of the legs. So scoot the hips back to make that happen. Hands can come forward, but keep the chest going straight toward the toes. Big breaths, back of the legs. We're almost done. And if If you came forward, walk the hands up and roll down onto your back. Draw the knees in toward the chest just for a breath. Give them a squeeze. And then stretch your legs long, feet about the width of the mat. Palms up, about a foot away from the hips. Snuggle the shoulders under, get comfortable for Shavasana. The most important yoga pose. This is where your body starts to integrate what it's learned. So take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out through an open mouth. And just sink into the earth. Let everything get heavy. You can stay here as long as you like, absorbing this energy. And when you're ready, start to bend the knees, place the bottoms of the feet on the floor. Bring the hands to the upper thighs. And slowly draw your knees in toward your chest, wrap your arms around them, give them a squeeze. And then find your way up to a seated position. Find a comfortable seat. Let the backs of the hands come to the knees. Thumb and forefinger touch. Close the eyes. Let the crown of the head go tall toward the sky, away from the sit bones. And just take this final moment to observe. How much different do you feel? The shoulders and the hips, a bit more free, a bit more open. Take that with you into your day or your evening. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's class and you're looking for more, join me over on lcyoga.com. There you're going to find lots of classes and content that doesn't exist here on YouTube. Longer classes, complete beginner series, intermediate flows, lots of content that is commercial free and exclusive to the website. So if you're ready, join me on lcyoga.com and I'll meet you there.